what he wanted to use. So he advised for me to go away and start to study psychology within the trading space. That's when I found Riz Iqbal. I'm sure you were obviously
Mm-hmm.
on his
Absolutely.
podcast yourself. Um, Words of Wisdom was a massive part of my journey. So I watched many of his interviews, one being yours specifically, um, and I was kind of blown away with a lot of what you were saying. There was another one which is called the ICT Roundtable, which I'm sure you've watched as well. Some really good guys on there, MBB and a few others, and they talked with such confidence, such certainty, and obviously they all traded ICT concepts. They all traded smart money. So I thought, this is it. This has got to be something here, you know. So that's when I started to look into ICT a little bit more, start trading smart money, and then obviously I came across you. Um, so I started following you from very early on. I joined TTP and TOTK. I was part of the public stuff you did a few years ago. Um, I had some success and I had some tough times, should we say? Um, so I was part of the public stuff for the last few years while it was open, and then obviously a few years ago you then shut the doors to open TMU. Um, at that point, I wasn't kind of in the financial position to unfortunately take on the one-to-one mentorship as much as I wanted to do it. Um, I had other things to pay for in life at the time. So after a few years of joining different groups, keep on studying ICT, kept on going through the TOTK Vault, watching your old stuff from when you made it when you were 17, 18, some of my favorite videos, stuff with Rich the Bull, stuff with Jamie, you know, all the old school kind of stuff. And I continued studying, I continued watching it. And then a couple of years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, my nan passed away. It was kind of tricky emotionally. And then shortly after, my father, he got cancer. So he's currently battling with cancer. He's just finished his treatment, so we are waiting for some results to come back to hopefully touch wood that everything has worked great and he will be on the mend. But something kind of clicked in me, and I realized, you know, time waits for no man, and I'm not getting any younger. And I was talking to Joel from TMU for maybe 2.5 years back and forth. Um, and I kind of got to the point after all these things had happened in my life where I needed to make a change. I couldn't go on floundering and with the subjective approach that I was taking into the markets every day, where one day I would do something this, and then the next day I would do something that, and you know, I wasn't having the kind of success that I was hoping for, dreaming for. So I decided after a long time, and after talking to Joel and after talking to Ari personally, that it was finally time for me to take that jump and a leap of faith and to take destiny into my own hands and join TMU and see what I'm capable of.
What an introduction that is, Callum. First, I want to start off by saying, man, it sounds like you've been through a whole lot within a short period of time within your life. I can tell that there's a lot of personal stuff which you endured, whilst also probably enduring the hardships that the trading world brings on a trader. And I want to give my hats off to you for being able to speak about these things so openly and to also sit there very calm. That right there comes back, I think, to that objectivity which you have learned, where you realize no matter how hard a situation might be, no matter how challenging it might be, there's always a way to zoom out and look what's the lesson in there, how to actually move forward from here. What would you say in those 3 years has been the biggest insight that you've gotten?
As you mentioned, it's about looking for the lesson in these things. So I'm not sure how much Ari has shared about me personally, but I'm not a super religious guy, but I believe there is something there, and I believe God kind of sends these tests for us to make us stronger. The saying goes to put one foot in front of the other, regardless of the situation that you are faced with, and continue to move forward and continue to try to grow as an individual. It's taken a lot of patience. It's taken quite a lot of an emotional control. Um, I I have to give credit where credit's due. My my mentor Ari has been nothing but spectacular. He has taught me a lot in terms of even the short period that we have been together in the last 10 weeks. Um, a lot about emotional control, a lot about patience, a lot about understanding myself as a person. And like you mentioned, being able to step back and analyze the situation and then make a better decision kind of going forward. Try not to act on emotions.
Exactly. That's the most important. Man, Callum, you are so wise for someone who's been training for 3 years. Phenomenal, honestly. Really amazing to hear.
Appreciate that, man.
What kept you going? What was inside of you that just allowed you to persevere?
It's my why. So it's my family. It's it's my everything.
Hmm.
I truly believe in you. I truly believe in TMU, and I truly believe in myself. No one has precision like you. Um, so once I'd seen that, I knew it was achievable. So once I'd seen you pass the skill set to Jamie, once you pass the skill set even to Ari and to some of the previous mentors, um, I knew I could do it as well. It was only a matter of time. And with the right information and the right guidance, I would be able to do it too.
That's a very rational thought, and it's so amazing to hear, man. I love to hear it. I'm curious, like 3 years of being part of T2P, you were part of TOTK, and now TMU.
Mm.
You've seen a lot of me.
Yeah.
You've seen everything, I imagine. How has that been for you?
I know you don't know me personally, but I'm super proud of you, Frank. You've come a long way. From back in the day when I first found you, about the execution videos and the ICT um, snips that you used to make back in the day when you were like 17. So you used to put an
Yeah.
execution video and ICT kind of talking in the background, giving some wisdom. I must have watched that series of videos more than 100 times, maybe more than 1,000 times. Um, to see the come up from where you were to where you are now, oh, dude, it's uh, it's incredible. It's incredible to see.
I
I
I
say,
appreciate that.
I
And
really,
I hope
I couldn't be prouder of you, sir.
I really appreciate that, brother. I really do. I think that right there, what you mentioned about it being achievable, that's the biggest thing to hold on to in your mind always, because that allows for you to just say, hey, if these guys can do it, then why the hell can't I? And once you understand that, man, that's when doors begin opening up for you. And I'm curious, Cal, like from a technical perspective, from a trading perspective, what's so interesting to hear is that you started off trading a strategy within a mentorship that didn't yield you the results you wanted. Then psychology was all of a sudden blamed. But now you probably look back at that and you're like, psychology had nothing to do with this.
Nothing. Yeah, it
That's
had nothing to do with it
that's a
whatsoever.
wild realization, isn't it?
Yeah, I realize now how much psychology has to play in what we do, and obviously it does play a big role. But at that time, when I was first coming to the markets, trying to understand, I mean, everything, from a candlestick to a chart to time to everything. It wasn't the right time to be focusing on psychology. I needed education. I needed an edge. Um, I needed a thorough understanding, and that's what I wasn't getting, unfortunately, at the place I was. So I needed to find a place where I could get that, and there was no better place than with you.
That's amazing to hear. And it's so fun to hear as well how you are able to see the difference between subjectivity and objectivity on the other hand. Because I think the moment that the trader sees that and they understand how big of a role just focusing on the only two objective variables, which are time and price, plays, your whole perspective changes on the markets, doesn't it?
It's all time before price, and now I understand why.
Exactly. It's a fulfilling feeling, and it's not really describable in words,
Yeah,
is it?
no,
Because
not
it
not at all.
repeats all the
Um,
time.
Day in, day out. Um, and once you start to see it, like you say, you can't unsee it.
Yeah,
Um, Obviously, I'm only in week 10 of my mentorship with Ari. Um, After week one, it was like my mind was completely blown. It was, it kept me up for days, if not weeks, going through all the different charts, understanding why and how time is now before price. What Ari showed me in that first week is I still almost have to pinch myself a little bit now. I'm still waiting for someone to come knock on the door, like, you
yeah.
should know this kind of information, you know? Um, Surreal, dude, surreal.
Yeah. And now I imagine that by week 10, you have seen more and more and more, and that feeling probably got worse, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a script. And once you understand the story that IPTA is essentially trying to tell you, um, no one reads it like TMU read it. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, once you understand the story or the script that they're trying to play, essentially align yourself with the objective and the draw liquidity, and then you're going to be okay.
exactly. And that's the only thing that matters. Recognizing where's price being drawn towards,
Mm.
where's the manipulation taking place, at what time, and then trading in sync with that. That's it. I wonder, Callum, like when you're looking now at, let's say, social media, because it sounds like you spent in the past, maybe you still do, a lot of time on checking what other traders are doing, etc. Do you feel like looking at what you've learned within TMU and comparing it to what's out there is is a weird feeling?
Yeah, yeah, very weird. Um, Nothing comes close to, as I say, the guys in TMU. I used to compare quite a bit, but comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah,
Um, it's something that me and Ari have put together as part of my protocol is sticking in my lane. So
exactly.
something I'm trying to master at the moment is the hourly candle between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Yeah,
There's a few reasons why. Going forwards, when I become a full-time trader, I'll only ever work for 1 hour a day.
yeah,
Through my data collection and through my understanding of price, I found this hour to be most profitable over a period of time. And also, it allows me to not spend a long time going over the markets. Um, I can simply, within that hour, look for A to B, market maker buy model, market maker sell model, take my piece, and then I'm done. And this
exactly.
will compound with time. It's a very objective, easy approach, which is very achievable day in, day out.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Simplicity is key. Have you
Yeah.
struggled with seeing so many opportunities that you might have thought to yourself, wanting to do more, wanting to be there from, let's say, 9:30 a.m. until 4 p.m.?
Yeah, for sure. And that's why we kind of had to dial it back a little bit, to be honest. I love the fact that we've created a protocol and a process and a box that I'm allowed to work inside of. Um, I like when you were on with Waka. It's one of the reasons why I've always wanted to learn from you is essentially when everyone goes left, you go right. And I'm the same. We have a very similar kind of
Yeah,
mindset when it comes to this. But you also said something very interesting in that podcast is like, when is enough enough? And now I understand why you said that. working with Ari over the last few weeks, there's opportunities within the markets. There's 10, 15, maybe 20 opportunities every single day. Some of them opportunities are not your opportunities. It's about trying to understand what your opportunities are and aligning yourself with the higher probability opportunity or for that session you're trying to trade in. It's not about trying to be in every single market move throughout the day. You have a time of interest, you have high time frame order flow, you wait for our entry pattern and our criteria to be met, and then we execute. At the
Exactly.
moment, I'm aiming for 2R, 2.5R, or time-based liquidity low, which is more achievable than what people think.
Yeah. And you know, the beautiful thing is, Callum, as you probably already know, that our target is simply the beginning point. It's simply the starting point to find and maintain a level of consistency. But over time, what will happen is as you get more comfortable with that same A to B framework, what happens is that R factor can increase. And you already know why. And when that happens, and all of a sudden that 2 to 2.5R turns into, let's say, 5R, 6R, maybe even more than that if you're using 5-second chart, 50-second chart, you name it. From there on, what you mentioned becomes ridiculous. Like it literally becomes ridiculous. And I want you to be mentally prepared for that as well, because based on our conversation up until this point, I can already tell you have what it got. Like you need this. Your mentality, the hardships that you went through, man, I swear, I'm 100% confident that not only with the family pressure, but also probably the work pressure and also the training pressure which you've been under, the financial pressure, that the majority of people have probably just threw in the towel. They would have probably given up and they would have just continued living their life, say, oh, this stuff doesn't work, but you kept on going. And that right there is why you're going to rise to a level that you can probably already think about now. But trust me, whatever you visualize as like, this is my end destination, you're gonna go way beyond that. And you're going to be thinking to yourself, whoa, Frank really manifested that right there. Because it's reality. I'm speaking from experience. We as natural human beings, we have an idea of, oh, we're gonna get to that level. Whilst in reality, we're not saying enough to ourselves. Because what I thought was achievable and was big was just the beginning. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah,
And that's
no,
what I want you to keep in mind.
yeah. I appreciate you saying that, Frank. I really do. And I can see it myself. Even in the last 10 weeks, the growth has been astronomical. And seeing it in you over the last 4 years that I've been following you, 4 or 5 years that I've been following you again, it's been ridiculous, dude. So um,
Well, ridiculous is a big word. It's just a matter of how should I describe it? I think the best way to describe my journey is like me being placed in an F1 car, you know, and being given by well, I'm rather religious with my lectures and stuff by the man above with the
mhm,
roadmap. This is how you do it, and this is how you drive this car. And I truly believe that once you start to realize how blessed you are for all the hardships you've gone through, all the challenges you've gone through, and now that you have everything technically that you could ever dream of, man, that's a blessing. Why? Because that's a combination which is going to yield you with, man, a level of growth. I'm sure, Calum, if we speak to each other in 4 to 5 years, we're going to, of course, be in contact. If you ever have any questions, so feel free to reach out. But in 4 or 5 years, I'm going to be able to say the same about you. And I'm sure we're going to have a drink then and be like, yep.
yeah, I look forward to it, mate. And I really do appreciate it. And I want to take a moment just to say thank you, Frank. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. You not only changed my life, but you changed so many people's lives within TMU. I don't think you realize. Um, yeah, I'll be eternally grateful. Yeah, as you mentioned, technically now, I have everything that I could ever dream of. what you gave me and what Ari has taught me in the last 10 weeks is more than what I could have ever asked for. Um, I say the growth in the last 10 weeks has been a lot. And I almost get a little bit of imposter syndrome where it's like the old me is trying to hold me back a little bit. Um, but
You know why that happens?
I'm super excited about the future now, and it's all thanks to you guys.
I really appreciate that. I'm excited for the future as well. Do you know why that happens, that imposter syndrome feeling? Because it's something that's very common amongst people that jump like this.
I
Do you
watched
know?
Alessandro's video on
Yeah.
it this week. It hit the nail on the head. I needed to hear that.
Wild, isn't it?
Yeah,
But it's a result of you having grown so much in your understanding so quickly that your identity still has to catch up. And that takes time and repetition. That's why I always say submit to time and keep on doing the same damn thing week in, week out. And what will happen is that it's going to just be a natural process. And before you know it, you're going, I don't want to say forget, but you're going to be placing all those things in the past which might be holding you back now. You're going to place them in some corner of your mind. You're going to lock the door and throw the key so far away that you're never going to be looking at it again. Throw it into the North Sea or something in the south of England.
yeah, I look forward to it.
It will be phenomenal, man. And really look forward to that. I wonder, like, you